It's Great Day, Houston.
Yeah, oh yeah! You aren't watching just any show.
That's right.
Just right, al dente.
From celebrities, food, fashion, health, and more.
You've got to change your lifestyle.
Exactly.
Wake up with your morning cup of fun with your host, Deborah Duncan. Great Day starts now.
Hello, everybody. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. Welcome to Great Day. Thank you very much. Thanks for joining us from home. And I also want to say thanks to our studio audience for coming in. This is the best ticket in town because what's the price of getting in here, audience? Free. It is free. Besides, you never know what will happen. We have a little surprise for someone in the audience today, so keep watching. Maybe they'll win some money, or maybe we found an old friend who knows, who knows what could happen there. Some of y'all look nervous if we found an old friend of yours, right? Okay, well, you could win something, but we're not telling you right now what's going to happen. You'll find out later. Watch live. Well, as you know, we've had many Houstonians on national reality shows. Whether they win or not, we don't often hear about what happens to the contestants after the show is over. That's not the case with Joey Galuzzi, though. He was on the show America's Next Great Restaurant.
Joey, Sadir, terribly sorry, but thank you so much for your effort.
I'm disappointed in myself, but I took one last look at Brooklyn Meatball Company, and it's alive more than ever. And this is something that I will continue to nurture. It's just too beautiful to let die on the vine.
Well, here's the update. The Brooklyn Meatball Company ain't in Brooklyn. Instead, it's in Houston, and it's opening soon. Please welcome Joey Galuzzi with a taste of the Brooklyn Meatball Company. Hello, Joey. How are you?
Hi, Deborah. Great to be here. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Okay, you have been on our show several times doing cooking segments, Men on Meals, but we're going to back up a little bit because a lot of people saw you on the show in New York, and then you ended up showing up here in Houston. Why?
It's kind of funny, too, you say that, because sometimes I walk around or jog in the park, I see people looking at me, and being from Brooklyn, like, what are they looking at? But I forget that I was on the show and they don't expect me. But
yeah.
My wife was originally from Houston, and for 13 years, she's begged me to move to Houston. And the stars lined up, and finally I gave in, and I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, did you know what Houston really was? I think across the country, people go Houston, and they're kind of puzzled because they don't really know what Houston
especially
is.
from Brooklyn. Forget about it. We think of like cowboy boots and horses,
yeah.
But it's very culturally diverse, great food town. I'm meeting great people, and I'm really happy to be here. I really am.
Yeah, and we're happy to have you. Because on the show, you said, I want to make a restaurant. And the premise of the show was who would have the next great restaurant. And you had, restaurant greats who would invest in you. And on the show, you said, I want to do like a meatball company, a meatball restaurant. Because that in itself can be a meal.
Oh, it can be. It could be anything from a nutritious light snack to a full meal. But, the essence of the concept, I always had a dream about a restaurant, Deborah, but I never really had a full concept. But having a background in financial services, I was very close to the recession in 2008. I started to think, no matter how wealthy you are, how poor you are, how much money you lost, gained, whatever, you're still thinking about what you're going to eat for dinner tonight.
Yeah.
And now, I grew up in Brooklyn. We had no money. But every Sunday, my grandmother cooked the Sunday dinner. It was unbelievable. I mean, you just wake up in the morning to the smells. And I thought to myself, I said, wouldn't it be great if I could bring that authentic Italian flavor of Sunday meatballs and macaroni. We call pasta macaroni.
Yeah.
But that Sunday dinner, if I could bring that flavor using the freshest, best ingredients to America and make it accessible, wouldn't that be great?
Yeah, because every culture has that family. They think about family, and family gathered around the tables when you forget everything else you're doing by yourself, and everybody comes together.
And that's what it's all about, Deborah. When you eat my food, I don't want you to just say it's good. I want to take you back to when you were a kid, no matter what nationality you were, no matter where you came from. I just want you to think about your family.
Yeah.
And, that's what I hope to do with Brooklyn Meatball Company.
You're going to bring families to the Brooklyn Meatball Company. So, you have some things here that you're going to feature in the Meatball Company. So tell us about the premise of the restaurant itself and what kinds of things you'll serve there.
All right, so the whole idea, it's a very focused, very streamlined menu. It's essentially meatballs, sauces, but you could have them different ways with pasta, salad, on a sandwich, different sauces. So there's a lot of different combinations you could actually use.
Oh, yeah. Can you tell who didn't have breakfast this morning?
Yeah, right? Yeah. But the one thing I want to stress is that Brooklyn Meatball Company is completely committed to using the freshest, best ingredients available. All the pastas, the tomatoes, the cheeses, everything imported straight from Italy, the extra virgin olive oil.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, everything. You're familiar with Tony's, right?
Yeah.
There was an article written last year about Tony. He refuses to use anything but San Marzano tomatoes, a special tomato from Italy.
Because he grew up like you did, with
yeah.
the Italian family around
Right.
and authentic things.
Right. So that's the level of ingredients that I want to bring to people, and again, make it accessible. Because being in New York, to get a decent bowl of pasta, you got to spend $20, $30.
Wow.
It's not nice. It's just not nice to do to people. So, you know, I want to bring that flavor and not break the pocketbook, and I want to see you again in the restaurant tomorrow.
All right. Show us some of the things that you're going to do here.
All right. So what I'm going to do now is make the famous meatballs. I already have these. This is for the classic meatballs. This is a mix of veal, beef, and pork, all USDA choice
Yeah,
beef.
and you mix those because some things may infuse another flavor, like pork will have another flavor to
Right, well,
it.
pork
and then,
is a little fattier than
Yeah.
beef. It'll kind of soften the flavor. Veal is a very beautiful, very tender meat. So all together, they all really, you know, work nicely with the fats melding together and creating a nice soft texture. So we'll go in with that. We'll go in with 2 eggs. We got about 1.5 pounds of meat here. Deborah, I'm going to admit this on national TV. I hate to admit it, though, but I forgot the breadcrumbs. There should be about a cup
you
of
forgot
breadcrumbs.
the bread. You know,
Hey,
I've
listen.
forgotten breadcrumbs before, and I used an old bag of Fritos. It
All right.
worked.
It
was like,
inspires the creativity,
it became
man.
a Mexican meatball with the salsa, and I put cheese in it and the whole bit, so I just made it more like a Mexican dish.
So I'm glad I admitted my mistake.
Yes,
you
yes,
gave people
that's how you
ideas to
learn.
be creative, exactly. So one of the special ingredients, key ingredients to my meatballs is pecorino romano cheese. It's made from sheep's milk, and it's got a very sharp flavor. It's a little saltier than your other cheeses. The purists like Parmigiano Reggiano, but this is what I grew up with. This is the one thing, the one luxury that my grandmother insisted on and my grandfather had to comply. In with the cheese.
In with the cheese. There you go.
Okay, garlic. Can't live without the garlic. Okay, we got some fresh chopped basil over here for a little flavor, a little freshness. And then we're going to put on our gloves here, mix this up. And you know, a lot of people say, so you're just going to have meatballs, huh? But I mean, there's just so many beautiful dishes you can make. I'm going to have different salads. I have a beautiful, I'm not going to do that today, but I have a beautiful house salad. Now, you hear house salad, you think lettuce, tomatoes. It's arugula, red onions, cherry tomatoes, gorgonzola cheese.
And, of course, the tomatoes caprese, which is always a great dish as
caprese
well.
salad, that's just outright beautiful.
All right, tell us where the meatball company is going to be.
The first location for the Brooklyn Meatball Company is going to be at the McKinney Food Court in the tunnel located at Travis and McKinney. So I'm very excited about that. It's, you know, one thing they taught us on America's Next Great Restaurant is they really groomed us to make our model a fast casual type store.
Right.
Where you could come in.
But you still got great food.
Exactly, exactly. And that's where we're moving to. And again, going back to the recession, you know, it really changed dining habits, again, across all incomes and society classes.
And there's 2 things we really love with food here. One, of course, is that it tastes good and it's fresh. But the other is it can be convenient for us to take on the go.
Thank you for bringing that up.
You're welcome.
Because one thing I'm going to do, I almost forgot. I'm trying to start a business here, and I almost, you know what? One thing I'm going to do, and I expect to have a lot of success with this because I've had a lot of requests, is I'm going to make a lot of to-go meals. So in other words, a lot of families are dual-income families. You come down before you go home. I'll give you a nice microwavable plastic container filled with meatballs, a pound of pasta, a quart of sauce. It'll feed a family for 4. All you got to do is boil water.
Yeah.
And that's it.
You like that idea?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that stuff. Yeah, because I'll go home and I'll act like I sweated over the stove and the whole bit, and they'll be like, wow, these are good. Why, thank you.
I said, take the credit, man. All I care about is that people are happy. So I like to use a scooper. Every meatball is going to be hand-rolled, but just to portion out, I like to use a scooper. So we're getting about at least 2 ounces of meat per meatball.
And you can use the smaller ones for hors d'oeuvres if you want to.
Exactly. I do that a lot, too. But they you know, what happens is they're so small, people end up eating a lot more than they want to.
Yeah. So there's the meatball plate there. You put that in for about how long in the oven?
Well, depending on the type of oven you use, the temperature, I like to go to about 450. And usually a full tray of meatballs, about 35 meatballs, it'll take about 20 minutes.
And you mentioned missing the breadcrumbs in there. What does the bread actually do in the actual meatball, similar to what it would do in a meatloaf?
I got to tell you, man, I can't believe how much what a positive for getting the breadcrumbs turned into, because we're learning so much. With the bread, see, when you cook a meatball, it's not like a steak. Like when you order a steak, you're going to get a medium rare temperature. With a meatball, you're cooking the meat well done. You're cooking it fully. So the breadcrumbs actually help the meat retain its texture. It doesn't get too hard.
Okay.
You know, and the proper way to do it is to soak the breadcrumbs. I'm not going to tell you what I soak my breadcrumbs in, but, you know, it really adds to the nice texture.
And then the other thing, of course, is it helps to stretch. As my mom used to say, we're growing up, you put the breadcrumbs in,
That's another
stretch
thing,
that
right?
meat.
Exactly. So, the meatballs, I love cooking on TV. The meatballs go in, and then the other meatballs come out.
Yes, they do. You can make yourself a meatball sandwich.
So,
you're sanitizing your hands.
sanitizing my hands because
yeah.
I just touched raw meat. We don't want to spread any bacteria, cross-contaminate any foods. Food safety, very important, and will be stressed at the Brooklyn Meatball Company. Okay, so, all right, you want that sandwich, don't you?
I want the sandwich now, so what do I do?
Wait,
drop
wait,
the
wait,
meatball?
I
No, I'm
spacked,
doing it wrong. Let me back off.
Okay, so, you gonna hold that?
Yeah.
All right, so let's sauce that bread. You have no idea how good this is.
Oh,
and this is, in Brooklyn, we used to call these heroes. Everyone calls them po' boys, subs, whatever. We call them heroes. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
And you know what, Joy, I gotta tell you, the reason why I know this is good, it smells really good. When you have fresh stuff, it just smells really good.
Thank you. I'm glad you said that. Because it's very important. It's very important. So now, what we're going to do, take a little fresh mozzarella. This is fresh mozzarella, homemade fresh mozzarella. It's not like the stuff you buy.
This is not mozzarella,
Yeah.
it's mozzarella.
No, it's mozz, fresh mozz. That's what they used to say. So we sprinkle that on.
No shake of cheese here. We got the fresh stuff.
That's right. Now, if you were in the restaurant, what I would do is put this in the broiler and melt that cheese and have the nice melted mozz. But let's put a little garnish on there. And there's your sandwich.
Oh, I know people say that I have a big mouth, but I can't get it around this whole sandwich right here on TV at least. So I'm just going to taste this meatball.
There you go.
Grazie. Delicious.
My pleasure. So if I could just get to this plate here. So we already have, so here's the traditional meatballs and macaroni. This is what we grew up with.
Well, Joy, we're going to finish that during the commercial break, because I'm sure going to eat it. But we look forward to the new restaurant opening. And I will give you my Tex-Mex recipe for my meatballs if you want to, you know, I'll give that to you for free. Okay?
I'll try something different. I appreciate that.
All right. Thank you very much.
I'll make that special. Thank you.
If you would like to learn more about Joey and the Brooklyn Meatball Company, you can go to GreatDayHouston.com. This is so good. Up next, doing things quicker, faster, cheaper, using ordinary things. Like, what does this wine bottle have to do with these boots?